Oh boy, you're not gonna believe this. Somebody just dropped $24,000 on a gold RTX 5090 signed by Jensen Huang himself. Somebody's been paying for all those leather jackets. Meanwhile, Amazon's out here shipping broken CPUs and fake boxes, and gamers are skipping upgrades because prices are out of control. Oh, and hey, do you remember those unhinged GPU boxes from the 2000s? Well, there's a book for that now. Buckle up because today's episode is a wild one. You know the drill. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, let's kick this off, guys. I'm in Arizona. It's very, very hot this time of year, and turns out the PC Master Race is experiencing heat as well. Look at this. We've got someone using a desk fan to cool their PC. 'Tis the season. It's getting warm out there. If you're hot, your PC's hot. Get a desk fan set up. Let me know if you've ever had to use an external fan to keep your PC running cool. It is getting hot out there, so might be the time to try it. All right, let's dig into it. Now, we've had a lot of issues with Amazon and PC components, right? Did a story last time about a 5090 box that had macaroni and rice inside of it. Well, check this out. Amazon sent me a broken Ryzen 7 9800X3D. Look at this thing. This is direct from Amazon too. This is not a third-party seller, this Reddit user has confirmed. So listen, Amazon's return department, I'm guessing, got something back, marked it as new, and then sent it out to another customer. You know, for high value tech stuff, you've always got to film your unboxings. It sounds stupid, but it's worth it to avoid something like this and have some shred of evidence that this wasn't your fault. You know, and Amazon fulfilled this order directly. This was not a third party. That's what's really kind of scary about all of this. And this comes on the heels of that Micro Center 5090 backpack issue. It seems like this is happening more and more. So something to be aware of. Tell me your worst Amazon PC parts horror story. I'm sure that someone can top this, right? There's now a book full of cursed old GPU boxes, and it's even weirder than you remember. Check it out. All right, these look like 2003 energy drink and a DeviantArt page had a baby. Look at some of these things. Back in the day, graphics card boxes, they used to have a little bit more personality. You'd have just some random character on it or an alien or something, and it felt kind of nice. It was a lot more, I don't know, it felt cooler than the current stale and generic boxes that we have today. Good news, you can relive the days of unhinged GPU box artwork. This is a new book that catalogs 300 retail boxes with both horrors and delights. I'm guessing it's going to be mostly horrors. Goddesses, demons, cyborgs, and frogs. That's what we used to see, and that's what sold GPUs. Take a look at some of these. This is crazy. This is a new book featuring some of the most striking examples of graphics card box art from the late 1990s through the early 2010s. This is called Overclocked, an archive of graphics card box art. Great coffee table book. It's something to strike up a conversation with the ladies, maybe. This takes you back to a time where, you know, before YouTube benchmarking is kind of what you would use to sell yourself on a card. You just take a look at this and you'd be like, yeah, I think that guy looks like he is could be a good graphics card. It's very, very interesting, some of the artwork that were used on graphics card boxes back in the day. On the cover is a typical example of a mythical elfin enchantress, a recurring theme of the age. However, much more bizarre images can be found inside. Graphics card stalwart Gainward looks like a relatively frequent offender in the eye bleach artwork category. Samples from this Taiwanese AIB frequently feature imagery inspired by themes like Terminators, but other brands of cyborgs were obviously available. Look at this. This is the stuff of nightmares. Look at this guy. And of course, MSI. Oh, sweet, sweet MSI. Very prevalent in this book, and they liked armor and gem-encrusted heroes. Sapphire, also another company that loved producing these weird GPU cartoon pieces of artwork. And then, of course, there's a bunch of brands that are no longer with us, if you want to go on a trip down memory lane to check some of those out. So you've got elves, you've got enchantresses, you've got goblins, and then you have discount Malcolm in the middle to help sell this from ASUS on this card. Those were the times. You never knew what you were going to get on GPU box art. If you were of a certain age, like myself, maybe you have bought a GPU with some unhinged box art. Let me know what your graphics card that you bought with some unhinged box art was down below. It's wild how GPU packaging went from flaming skulls to white cardboard in literally just a decade. And honestly, I miss the chaos, man. Minimalism's overrated. Things are getting expensive. That's no doubt. Gamers are saying no thanks to new GPUs because price versus performance is kind of a joke. Check this out. There are a lot of PC builders that are in a silent strike right now, and nvidia, I don't think, is getting the hint. Check this out. Gamers are reportedly skipping GPU upgrades due to soaring prices, paying, I don't know, bills, taking priority over chasing the 5090. It's probably a responsible move to make. Gamers aren't interested in the new AMD NVIDIA gaming GPUs as rising prices have made them basically non-accessible. You know, the Steam hardware survey still shows the 1650 as one of the top 10 GPUs. That's how you know that people are just done with this, man. This year, the new GeForce RTX 50 series from NVIDIA was certainly out of reach when it comes to pricing. Since the MSRPs were deemed as something normal, the inventory situation forced consumers to buy SKUs at higher prices. According to a survey by Liquid Web, out of 1,000 gamers surveyed, many of them decided to not go for a GPU upgrade this year, mainly due to how freaking expensive they are. We've kind of hit the upgrade fatigue wall. The performance gains aren't worth the price right now for a lot of people. Now, of the gamers surveyed that were not planning on upgrading, many of them said, hey, we've decided to stick to paying rent and electricity bills, which shows that the PC Master Race hasn't been much competitive one in recent times, especially when compared to previous years. Things are getting very expensive. This is an expensive hobby to have. So if you dive into this survey, over 57% of PC gamers have been prevented from buying a new graphics card due to supply chain situations. Interestingly, many of them were eager to keep the electricity running rather than fulfill their gaming needs. More than 40% of them would wait for more than 2 years before proceeding with the new upgrade, which seems fairly typical. I don't know about you, but it's typically about 3-4 years if I really push it to where I'm like, okay, I need to maybe do some upgrades on my build. Now, obviously, I use my system for a lot of things. I use it for editing, I use it for gaming, I use it for a ton of stuff. So it's a very important tool for me. For a lot of people, it's more of a luxury. So what GPU offers the best value? Well, that's something that was asked in the survey as well. When they asked people about what graphics card delivers the best value, gamers voted for the RTX 4070 Ti, which is kind of an interesting choice. And it turns out a few of them also were into the RTX 3070. Now, what's interesting is the 9070 XT didn't get many ratings at all, but that could just be because there's maybe a little bit of a bias towards NVIDIA. The 9070 XT is a great card. I feel like a pretty good value. And it's called out here as well in the article. AMD offers better performance per dollar value with the newer RDNA 4 GPUs if, and it all comes down to this, doesn't it? If you can find them at MSRP. And hey, the used market is heating up, you know, so it may not be bad time to go pre-owned if you're planning on doing some budget building. So let me know in the comments, are you upgrading this generation or are you holding out? Be honest, let me know. Here we go. NVIDIA's budget 50 series card just leaked. Will it suck this time? I don't know. You tell me. Let's check it out. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5050 gets 20 gigabytes per second GDDR6 memory. Now, there were some early rumors saying, hey, they might go GDDR7 with this card, but turns out those were not real. We're going GDDR6 on this bad boy. According to Megasize GPU, this is a leaker who has a pretty dang good track record when it comes to NVIDIA hardware. The upcoming GeForce RTX 5050 graphics card is going to feature GDDR6 memory. We thought it was going to be GDDR7, going to be 6. Ever since the 5060 hit the market, rumors about an even slower Blackwell Desktop's graphics card has been emerging. Despite the poor reception of 8GB models with the GB206 GPU, NVIDIA is fast-tracking its plans to launch the 5050 around July. It's coming right up, and this graphics card, guess what? It's gonna be the first and probably the only model featuring the GB207 GPU. It's the smallest Blackwell processor available. It's also said to be used in the mobile variant as well. So on the mobile side, you've got GDDR6 and 7 memory configs, each with 8GB capacity. The leaker reveals that the RTX 5050 desktop will use 20 gigabytes per second GDDR6 memory modules, the same speed as the Radeon RX 9000 series. While NVIDIA never released an RTX 4050 desktop model in the last generation, chances are the RTX 5050 would offer similar performance. The Blackwell model will feature higher memory bandwidth, which is often the biggest bottleneck for modern gamers, but guess what? You're gonna have fewer cores on that. You're gonna have 2560 versus 3072 GB2. So this card is built on a cut down GB207, and it's going to have a third less cores than the 5060, which is kind of interesting. Really, it kind of comes down to price. Where do you guys think the price is going to land on this? If it comes under, hopefully, 250 bucks, is it a budget card that may make sense for some people? Let me know what you think down below. So you're going to see this launch in July, just next month. We don't know the final release date, but it's a coming. So we'll keep you updated. Make sure that you are subscribed and that you hit the like button if you want to learn more as we find out more. Intel's new GPUs are real and they're coming in 4 flavors, but will anyone care? Well, you tell me. Let's check it out. Here we go. Intel's trying again, bless their hearts. Intel confirms BGM G31. These are Battlemage GPUs with 4 variants in the Mesa update. These are coming, new Battlemage GPUs. The official Mesa drivers list several BGM device IDs. Previously, 6 of these IDs appeared as generic Intel graphics, but this has just changed. Today, Intel replaced 4 of those IDs with their actual names, and they all belong to BGM G31. Now, if these were leaked in Mesa drivers, I'm curious, does this mean that we're only a few weeks out from maybe some benchmarks and things like that? I'm kind of curious. We've heard about this for a while. The higher-end Battlemage GPU has been rumored for months. In fact, the first traces of this GPU date back to a time when Battlemage hadn't been released yet. However, Intel has never confirmed that a second GPU is planned for the new graphics card series, which is surprising considering that its predecessor, Alchemist, had 3 variants. Now, this BGM G31 is associated with 4 different IDs, and that suggests that Intel is going to have at least 4 variants of the Battlemage G31, which it doesn't mean that they'll all be gaming GPUs. Some of these could be workstation as well, so something to keep in mind. So key takeaway from the update is that this Mesa update serves as an official update from Intel employees. Typically, such updates appear weeks, sometimes months before the official product launch. And as of yesterday, found out that this is going to support PCIe 5.0. Rumors are suggesting in terms of a launch, no one really knows what it's going to be, but 4th quarter of this year sounds pretty safe, so keep an eye out. Do you trust Intel GPUs? Do you have one? Let me know down below. Somebody just dropped 24 grand on a GPU because it's gold and it's signed by Jensen Huang. Let's break it down. Listen, for 24 grand, I better be able to telepathically connect to Jensen's mind mid-match. That has to be included for this to make sense. The ASUS RTX 5090 Dhahab, signed by Jensen, sells for $24,000 in a charity auction. This is ASUS's most expensive graphics card yet, but it's for a good cause. The ASUS 5090 Dhahab Edition is exclusive to Middle East sales. This extravagant design is a true eye-catcher and the real wallet magnet. These cards sell for thousands of dollars on secondhand platforms that allow people outside the region to purchase this unique model. Now, even without, so remove all the gold and Dhahab and design and all this stuff, you're going to pay an arm and a leg for an Astral card. So the fact that this is an Astral card stacked on top of the gold element, stacked on top of the CEO of nvidia signing this bad boy, you're just asking to pay an arm and a leg, which somebody did at a company charity auction. The winning bid reached $24,200, surpassing the second highest offer by just 10 bucks. The buyer now owns a one-of-a-kind graphics card, and hopefully it ends up in a system. I mean, I'm guessing this is just going to end up on display, but play a couple games on it, have a little fun, do a little benchmarking. Come on. Hey, maybe if I spent 24 grand on a card, I'd put it in a glass case too. Who knows? Now, the charity that this card benefited is actually pretty cool. It provides charitable assistance, medical aid, disaster relief, and educational services. They also support environmental protection programs, although it's unclear how they view 600-watt gaming GPUs from an environmental standpoint. Fair point. Now, eBay scalpers were already asking $15,000 plus for an unsigned version, and there are 5 signed versions of these cards in the wild, this being one of them. So we'll see where the others pop up if they do. That's going to do it for today. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and we've got a whole lot more coming. We'll see you next time.